What's going on, fantasy football fans? I'm your host, Hussein the Brain, and you're watching The Couch. Before I get into my Week 5 waiver wire pickups, let's start off with some of the most ugliest and disappointing performances from last week. My top 3 fantasy woes from Week 4 are Matthew Stafford, DeAndre Hopkins, and Odell Beckham. This was a little bit expected of Odell Beckham. The Vikings have been just destroying wide receiver ones. They have the best defense in the NFL, but I'm a little bit worried about Odell Beckham. Not too much though. He's actually done pretty well the first few games, just hasn't got any touchdowns. So I'm really hoping, really banking that he'll get the touchdowns. As you guys know, I drafted him in the Instagram Experts League and the Fantasy Couch League, both second overall. So I hope he gets those touchdowns and I hope he turns things around. Let's go into my Week 5 waivers. The 4 teams on bye this week are the Jacksonville Jaguars, Kansas City Chiefs, New Orleans Saints, and Seattle Seahawks. Just a heads up so you don't start any of those guys. There's been some injuries to quarterbacks that are very notable. Cam Newton, he may or may not play this week. The big news really about that, he has a concussion, is that the Panthers play Week 5 Monday Night Football, so we may not really know in time. So that's a big deal for Cam Newton owners. Carson Palmer plays Thursday night. I don't think he'll be able to play, but we don't know. It's a concussion. Those things are tricky. Trevor Siemian should be a go Week 5, but we're not sure either. He's injured, and also Jay Cutler is recovering from an injury, but even if he were to be healthy, Brian Hoyer may still be the starting quarterback in Chicago. Now, the perfect solution for Cam Newton owners, this is going to be different if you're in an 8-man league or a shallow league like that. But a really good solution for Cam Newton owners, especially if there's not a whole lot of quarterbacks available on the waiver wires, is to pick up Derek Anderson if you have the bench room. So if Cam Newton's starting, boom, start him Monday night. If Cam Newton's out, no worries. You have Derek Anderson, a formidable quarterback, going against the Buccaneers, a pretty good matchup. So I really like him. Derek Anderson, if you don't know too much about this guy, he's pretty good. He's not amazing, but he's good. He's definitely someone you can feel confident starting in fantasy football when you need to. My top 10 quarterbacks to pick up, starting off with Carson Wentz. Love the upside here. Andy Dalton, may not really want to start him Week 5. I mean, you definitely can, but with Eifert coming back, Andy Dalton's going to be a QB1. Trust me on that, guys. But Eifert, I don't know if he can stay healthy. That's a big if right there. Jameis Winston, great game Week 1, bad week the next week. Then a good game Week 3, bad game Week 4. If the trend continues, guys, going against the Panthers, not a great defense, not good cornerbacks. Hey, he might have a good game. So I really like Jameis Winston as a long-term and short-term pickup. Brian Hoyer has a pretty good matchup in Indianapolis, playing in a dome. I love that if Cutler is not playing Week 5. Ryan Fitzpatrick, yeah, he's been horrible, but the Steelers just might be a good game where he turns things around. Not too confident in that though, so like I said, might be a good game for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Joe Flacco going against Washington. Alex Smith is on bye, but after that has some great matchups. You likely can't add this guy. You probably don't have room on your bench for a bye week quarterback, but keep an eye out in deeper leagues for people if they do drop Alex Smith. A lot of people will be dropping Alex Smith this week. I know that. Ryan Tannehill going against the Titans. Not a great matchup and not a great quarterback. He'll have it's easier matchup though than the Bengals, I'll tell you that. The Bengals D is formidable. Sam Bradford, not a great matchup, but I have him on here. He's been playing really efficient and no turnovers. I love that. Tony Romo, now will he come back? I do believe the Cowboys will put Tony Romo back as the starter. And not too confident in that, but I'm saying if I had to bank on it, yeah, would Dak be the starter or Romo? I'd have to say Romo, and not too confident in that. And I'm also really not confident if that's the best decision for the Cowboys. But hey, I give Romo a 51% chance of being the starter when he comes back. In fantasy, yeah, not really worth an ad right now. It's not that great. There's also a bye week coming up for the Cowboys. But I have to put this out for people in deeper leagues and people that might be dropping Tony Romo here pretty soon. For running backs, Jonathan Stewart, who's coming back from injury, Terrence West, now that Forsett is out, Dion Lewis, especially in PPR leagues, Arian Foster, hamstring, should be coming back this week or next week. I think so. May want to check on that. And Kenneth Dixon as a great stash, like I just said, Forsett is out. Those guys are pretty much must pickups in a lot of leagues, especially 12-man leagues or deeper. If you're really desperate for a running back, look at Josh Ferguson in PPR leagues, Chris Ivory, who's on bye in non-PPR leagues, Chris Thompson, Washington running back in PPR leagues, Matt Asiata, Minnesota Vikings running back. Now, McKinnon is the better running back. I was kind of hoping Asiata would be. Not too confident. You know, it was pretty close when I did my, I believe it was the week 3 waiver wire video. But I was kind of right at the same time too. Asiata does get a lot of important carries, especially at the goal line. McKinnon's the better Minnesota running back to own, but that doesn't mean Asiata has no value at all. He should be owned in a little bit more leagues, especially with the running back woes and injuries going on right now in fantasy. Bilal Powell, he's okay, not great, but okay. And Andre Ellington now becomes a pretty good handcuff for David Johnson owners now that Chris Johnson, Arizona Cardinals running back, has been placed on IR. And in deeper leagues, look at Paul Perkins, has tons of upside, tons of risk. Bobby Rainey in PPR only leagues, only in PPR leagues. Dexter McCluster in deep PPR leagues. Mike Gillislee, he now is the official handcuff for LaShawn McCoy owners. And maybe Zach Zenner if Dwayne Washington is out. For wide receivers, now a lot of these guys are owned in your leagues, but if they're not, Steve Smith, Michael Thomas, who's on bye, the Saints wide receiver, Kinsey Anenwa. By the way, I talked about Michael Thomas just about every single video and in a lot of podcasts I've been doing. So make sure you guys pick up Michael Thomas. He is on bye. He's going to be great. He's going to be very reliable. Kinsey Anenwa, Cole Beasley's basically a must pick up in PPR leagues. Brian Quick, really excited about this guy. I think the Rams might have a real wide receiver here. Maybe not, but maybe they do. Chris Hogan, wow, Brady's coming back. Like to see what he can really do this year. Robert Woods, a lot of people have been picking him up. As you know, he was actually my sleeper in before drafts. I put him as a sleeper for 2016. Now, he does have a very limited upside. I would only consider picking him up in PPR leagues, and it would not be in an 8-man or 10-man, no way. But in a deep league, PPR league, he's worth consideration. Like I said, limited upside because I don't see him getting any more than 4 touchdowns this year, and that's even a stretch. I see him getting about 2 or 3 touchdowns this year. Adam Humphries, that's a good pickup, guys, in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers wide receiver. I like Dontrell Inman of the Chargers. Now, I think Rivers is going to be spreading the ball a lot. I don't see Inman, oh, this guy's the number one. No, I don't think there is a number one over there in San Diego. He's going to be spreading the ball a lot, just kind of like what Breeze does. You go to Hunter Henry, maybe when Gates comes back, Inman, Terrell Williams, Travis Benjamin. You never really know with the Chargers. And Devontae Adams, I really like this guy. I do believe he is the number 3 wide receiver over there in Green Bay. And with Randall Cobb struggling, if he can't get back on track, Devontae Adams is a decent ad. More of a stash on your team, not a guy you're loving to start every week. Nothing like that. Look for Terrence Williams if Des Bryant is out. Not too much news on his injury. He may or may not be back this week, may or may not be back next week. Who knows? Anquan Bolden on the Lions. Philip Dorsett. This is really tough right here, but still should be owned. Corey Coleman, if you have like an IR spot on your bench, that's a good stash right there, as he'll be coming back in a few weeks. Eddie Royal of the Bears. Seth Roberts, I do like this guy. Doesn't get a ton of targets, but get some quality ones and could put up a touchdown here and there. Now, Dorial Green-Beckham, he's a risky upside stash. Hoping, if you do add him in a deeper league, you're hoping that he will be the number 2 wide receiver over there on the Eagles. Now, I do believe that Zach Ertz is actually the better, will be the number 2 option in the passing game. But who knows? Dorial Green-Beckham could be number 3 and surpass Aguilar. Only time will tell. That's why this is a risky, high upside pickup. Kendall Wright, basically the same thing. This guy's been very disappointing for fantasy owners over the past few years. But hey, small chance, very small chance he'll get that Titans passing game back on track. Mariota has been horrible. Titans pass game has been horrible. I like Tyreek Hill a lot in leagues that award points for return yards. Other than that, I mean, he's on bye, so he's likely not worth an add in your league. And also put Jalen Strawn in super deep leagues to keep a watch on him. For tight ends, a lot of options here. I won't go over a ton of the guys at the end for deeper leagues, but I will go over the guys that are must adds and really good adds. Tyler Eifert, Kyle Rudolph, Zach Ertz, who's coming back from injury and who's going to be playing week 5, I believe so, and has a good match, great matchup, and just came off a bye week. The Eagles did. Must pick up. Jimmy Graham must pick up, even though he's on bye. Zach Miller must pick up. Cameron Brate, Barnage must pick up. I also like Martellus Bennett, Eric Ebron, Hunter Henry. It's been an awesome tight end when Gates is out. So keep tabs on Gates. No matter what league you're in, make sure you keep tabs on Gates. Okay, guys, see if he's coming back, what he's doing, what's up with him. Dwayne Allen, I like Will Tye as a short-term pickup. If Larry Donnell cannot play, Larry Donnell is concussed. And in deeper leagues, I got Clive Walford. Richard Rodgers is a great short-term pickup with Jared Cook out. Jesse James, Garrett Selleck. If McDonald is out, Lance Kendricks. Surprisingly, he's got over 20 targets. That's pretty good. That's puts him pretty high on the tight end targets list for this year. Jack Doyle, Virgil Green, who's hurt, and Austin Hooper as simply a deep league tight end stash and nothing more. For defenses, I have streaming defenses and a couple long-term pickups. Patriots, good streaming D, good long-term defense. Same thing with the Rams. I like them. Eagles, they're pretty good long-term. Bills going against the Lions. I would label them as a good start for week 5. A high-risk start going against the Lions. Titans, Miami game could be a low-scoring game there. 49ers defense is a D that's worth considering if Carson Palmer is out. If I had to guess right now, I think Carson Palmer will be out, but we won't really know. They do play Thursday night, the Niners and Cardinals, that is. Dolphins, Titans, just went over this game. The Titans are horrible. Steelers, not too confident in that, but Ryan Fitzpatrick has run out of Fitzmagic, so hey, he could throw some picks, and the Steelers, their offense is high octane, and even better now that Le'Veon Bell is back. So Fitzpatrick may need to throw the ball, and he may be throwing to the Steelers defenders quite a bit. I also like the Ravens D as more of a low-end defense for long term. For kickers, Dan Bailey has a back injury. I myself will probably be dropping Dan Bailey, even though I really like him. It's just probably not worth keeping a guy with a back injury who's had a little bit of accuracy issues likely caused by the injury. So this week, the guys that are likely available in your leagues: Caleb Sturgis, Mason Crosby, Brandon McManus playing at home, I believe, Josh Lambo, the Chargers kicker, Josh Brown, the Giants kicker, Sebastian Janikowski. Okay this week, not bad. I know I was basically wrong about this kicker, but I do like him a little bit this week. Robert Aguoye, the Buccaneers kicker, and Connor Barth, the Bears kicker, and that's only in super deep league, guys, for those last 3 guys I named. And those are all my waivers for week 5. Make sure you guys check out the podcast. You can find it on iTunes, Stitcher. You can also find it on fantasycouch.com. Also, make sure you guys check out the Fantasy Couch store, okay? We have tons of products, and we'll be having some new products, okay? I want to give you guys, watching this video, first news of this. So we'll be having new products. Don't want to say what it is yet. I'm still working on them, but just know that they'll be really cool, guys, okay? So check out the store, having new products. We have the belt there, Fantasy Baseball Championship belt, Fantasy Football Championship belt. So go ahead and check that out. That's fantasycouch.com/store, or just click right there. Also, make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video. leave a comment. And if you do leave a comment or hit me up on social media at Fantasy Couch on Twitter, on Instagram, wherever it may be, make sure you guys use hashtag AskTheBrain. That way I know you're a true Fantasy Couch fan. And I'll see you guys on the next video.